love that you call it sacredly selfish. Please expand on that. Sacredly selfish. This is key. Everybody, women, listen up.
Oh man, it is so important. I think that we've been raised in a culture that really reveres the martyr, where it's like, I'm going to give and give and give, and now I'm drained, so somebody should give back to me, and that's going to be virtuous. In reality, is when you don't have to rely on anybody to buy you flowers or to cook your food. Um, you can do the other things that are a little bit more masculine, of like moving your body. You don't have to ask it others. And sacredly selfish is something I think that I have to give permission to a lot of people on the healing journey, and that it's got to come first. And Paul taught me that. I did
Yes.
not know this
Me too.
myself.
Me too.
I was such a giver to the point of exhaustion, going
Same.
through the institute. I thought it was just my back, but it turns out my adrenals and my thyroid and everything was just, it was just tapped. And a lot of our society is tapped out. Yeah. And so sacred selfish is just a term that I coined, that I think is sacred time. It's ritualistic. Finding the ritual in this really ties us to our ancestors and our roots of having these ceremonies that restore ourselves. You can do it physically, emotionally, mentally, and only once a person's like filled or restored do I think that they have the barometer for when they're starting to be drained. Otherwise, it's just all they know is drained. And so having those skills slowly taught to you, whether it's through a book or a coach, and I like to implement them one at a time, making them a habit, 27 days, doing one thing consistently to see who you are today and who you are 27 days from now. And if it's something that's truly filling you, or if it's just something that you're checking off of the to-do list to feel like you've done something.
Yes, indeed. So, and I just think it's interesting how you termed it sacredly selfish. Can you define for us why sacredly? Because that can bring up, that's a loaded word for people, as well as selfish, right? Selfish is a loaded word. So because I'm thinking sacred, it doesn't have to be anything fancy. It can be just, I think you do, a little bit of breath work, and you make yourself a breakfast. Like, it's just because the word sacred, it just means, well, please, I don't want to put words in your mouth. Tell us why you picked that term.
Well, my first business I ever created was called Goddess Arts Academy. And it was a pole dancing business because I felt like women wanted to learn something that I maybe knew, and I had a background in business. And the reason why I called it Goddess Arts Academy is because I believe that there's a divinity within all of us. We are all goddesses and gods. And the sacred piece is about turning it into a worship for yourself. You're worshiping this internal deity that's in this third dimension. And I don't want to say it's a one-time thing, because I believe we have more opportunities to be here, but this life, this time in this body is never going to be it again. And so it's sacred. The Buddhists believe that you're born with a certain amount of breaths, and how you take them is going to determine the length of your life.
And heartbeats.
And so, and so learning how to receive each one of those is like a gift and an opportunity. And so an example might be, I really love a chocolate drink. I make this raw cacao collagen chocolate drink.
Okay, another common thing. Add that to the list. Chocolate's my favorite.
Gotta have that serotonin love. And there's a couple ways I can do that. I can go to the drink and think, I have an addiction and I need my chocolate to stimulate. Or I can go to the drink and think, oh, this has a ton of calories and it's going to add weight to my hips, but I need it. Or I can go to the drink and think, this is a medicine, and it has all of these benefits. And the Mayans revered this as money. Like they used
Sacred.
cacao as a form of money.
Mhm.
And it only grows in a small place of the earth, and it was delivered to me. I'm living like a queen right now to have this medicine. And how I imbibe on that medicine is going to determine how it affects me. And so,
Yes.
even, coffee is another beautiful gift, but we can also see it as something that can be damaging to the adrenals. So, anything that is sacredly selfish is something that you're doing that you're seeing as a special gift that you're giving yourself.
I love that. I love that. That
Thanks.
is
So like even when I'm
powerful.
being lazy, I
Mm.
can see my exercise as a gift, but when I'm luteal and I have my morning routine that I feel really important, luteal being right before your menstrual cycle, when you have
Mhm.
the least amount of estrogen and progesterone and energy to do things, sometimes my sacred selfishness is to completely skip my routine and go get in a bath.
Mhm.
And so, selfish, that piece is really tuning into oneself, not what my husband wants for me or my clients need from me or what my daughter wants from me. And so, a big piece that's important to that is that my phone doesn't turn on before I finish my hour or two in the morning of sacred selfishness, so that I can really tune into what does Nicole want? Because we're always like being pulled in our society of what we can do for others. And so that sacred selfish time is also with the self.